91.5 WBIM presents the Saturday Night Soundtrack. Whoever you're with, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, don't stop. Just turn us up. Coming to you live from the campus of Bridgewater State University. We are your destination for commercial-free classic rock to power your nights. Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, Van Halen, Aerosmith, Beatles, Eric Clapton, Pink Floyd, The Who, U2, AC/DC, Tom Petty, Allman Brothers, Ozzy, Neil Young, and hundreds more. Take us along wherever you go with the Livestream.com app in the iTunes and Google Play stores. So go get some food in the belly and gas in the tank as PSU's Alumni Saturday rocks on. The Saturday Night Soundtrack with Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, and Steve Rimmer begins now on Bridgewater's own 91.5 WBIM.
It's 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday Night Soundtrack is back, finally. Well, thank God. So welcome to it. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. It's, what the hell time is it? It's 6:49.
Yeah, we're early today.
Yeah, we could have been even earlier, but that's how life works. Give us a call, 508-531-1303. We're going to be doing classic rock until 11 o'clock, so you can get anything on that you want that's classic rock related. You can like us on Facebook, Saturday Night Soundtrack. You can follow us on Twitter, at SM Soundtrack, and don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. All you got to do is search for Saturday Night Soundtrack. You filter for channels, and where should be the first thing that comes up there. If you click on it and you're getting porn and all sorts of junk, well, you're doing it wrong, and get off the internet because you're stupid. And you obviously
go with the porn.
You clearly don't know how to use the internet, and just stop listening to our show because you're dragging down the average intelligence quotient of our listenership.
How can you do that?
That's a good point. So I'm glad to have you gentlemen back. We had a week off last week because of the Alumni Takeover reunion, so it's good to be back in. We haven't been with Steve in a bit, so it's good to have Steve back too. All
good to be here.
All cylinders firing. As far as that goes, cylinders firing. At least as far as the personnel here, as far as the studio goes, that's another matter. I'm looking all around. They talk about a one-horse operation. This is even. I think the horse is sick, and the thing is going to end up having to get shot in the head. As far as the studio is concerned, because I'm looking around, there's no paper. There's not. The first pen I picked up in here, by the way, was broken, but then I found one that worked. So that was fine. And are you checking out the microphones? Because my thing is really tight.
Yeah.
And I don't understand.
It's really stiff.
What is really tight? My thing is really tight and stiff.
Okay.
And Jared's is really stiff, too.
Do you need to text the wife, do you think? She won't care.
No, she doesn't. She's in Boston doing something with her friends, and it's not going to matter.
What's his name?
Ba-boom. Ba-boom. So I don't know what's going on with this. I'm going to have to get used to it, but that's good. I mean, at least the microphones aren't going to fall off the thing.
Well, I remember last time we were here, my microphone kept on slipping down, and I had to move it up.
I hate when it slips down.
So did you look like Trump at a debate? Did you just keep adjusting the thing, and you were like, because that's how you gotta do it. We're all effed. Yeah. So this show will go on at least until November 5th. After that, depending on the results of the election, free speech may be squashed by the dictator. I mean, the president who gets elected and decides he doesn't like people saying mean crap about him.
Hey, you know
and
what?
Then this show will be off the air.
I took the day off after the election.
You told me you were going to do that.
I'm such a big geek. I want to sit at home and watch TV all day and watch the results come in.
I just want to say, also, it's the other way, too, because the guy from WikiLeaks there, what's his name? Julian Assange?
Assange.
Yeah,
right?
Assange, yeah.
So he was pumping out stuff about Hillary Clinton and her camp, right? And then, so she finally put leverage on the guy in Ecuador who's buddies with her, and she put the leverage on him, the lean on him, and then suddenly Julia Assange's email just stopped.
Oh.
And then, so it is assumed that she didn't like the fact that these emails were being leaked.
Well, yeah, no crap.
No, she didn't.
So she finally...
I mean, I don't think that's a mystery.
So she finally just put a lien on the guy and then ended that whole situation.
Okay.
And it's like, so it's
I don't really have no, it's not. I don't really have a problem with that.
No, I do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I do. I want to know.
No problem.
I want to know that, like, she was screwing over Bernie Sanders.
You know what? I don't, because I'm going to... There's no way I'm voting for the other guy, and there's no way I'm voting for any of the Green Party losers. I don't know if either of you guys watched the John Oliver show or not.
No, I did.
Where he was going into in depth into Jill Stein and I can't even think of the dude's name.
Who cares?
No.
It doesn't matter.
Gary Johnson? Is that
Yes,
it? Gary Johnson, thank you.
The thing that always gets me is that they never invite those people to the presidential debate. 'Cause
Right.
if they're like nominees, they should all be invited to the.
They technically should, but our
They don't care.
Yeah, no,
Our system's screwed.
Our system's effed up, and the whole thing's a mess.
We're gonna die.
But there's no way that I'm
way.
voting for Trump, so I really don't care what ends up happening on the other side, because nothing is going to balance out all the idiocy that's coming from the Trump side.
No.
So,
We're all gonna die.
that's how I feel.
I don't talk about politics.
No, you don't talk politics. I don't talk politics. We don't talk politics
I
on
don't
this
talk
show.
politics. No, it's
Steve, didn't you tell one of our friends from Target who was popping on and listening every once in a while? You were like, "Oh, there's no political conversation that goes on here," and then like the next 10 minutes was, and it was before any of this even sort of blew up. It was just the next 10 minutes was just political. Blah 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 blah. blah, blah.
Are we talking about Susan?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Because I just
Sean,
found out.
probably.
Because I wouldn't care. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, we're on the same side as Susan, and secondly, I wouldn't care. It's Susan. I'm fine with it. You know what I mean?
I found out about Susan that she's leaving her kids on Thanksgiving.
She's leaving her kids?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I bumped into.
Nobody cares about this, by the way.
No, nobody cares. But I bumped into one of her kids at Target the other day.
Emily,
Maybe yesterday or earlier today. Earlier today, I'm sorry. And she's like, I'm like, how you doing? She's like, good. Where's Mom? She goes, she's not here. Oh, okay. Then she's like, yeah, she's not going to be around anymore. I'm like, whoa, what's that mean? Are we in trouble?
Right, seriously.
And then she goes, no, she's just going to leave me for Thanksgiving all alone while she goes and does things in a different state.
Well, I mean, there are some kids who would love that. They'd be like, well, thank God. The parental units are going away for a while.
Well,
I can get some time to myself.
She's enamored by her children.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying there could be some. I'm saying on the kid side, they could be like, well, thank God, the helicopter noises will go away, and I'll be able to just live my own life for a weekend, and it'll be fantastic.
That thing's been following me all day.
Get the out of here! What are you nuts?
You brought something in with you?
I brought a helicopter in. I'm telling you, Janice, the helicopter's around.
First
here we
block
go.
of classic rock, gentlemen. 508-531-1303. Got Tom Petty, Ozzy, and Leonard Skinner all on deck.
Stay connected with these guys. Like the Saturday Night Soundtrack on Facebook. Follow SN Soundtrack on Twitter. And subscribe to the Saturday Night Soundtrack channel on YouTube. Now you can get as much of Rob, Jared, and Steve as you want. Anytime, anywhere. And who doesn't want that? SNS on BIM.
Well, today was a pretty horrible day for a white wedding, but I guess to each his own. 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. SNS radio show wrapping up a big block of classic rock there. Had Billy Idol in there, Supertramp, Jeff Beck Group, Van Morrison, Leonard Skinner, Fleetwood Mac, Ozzy Osbourne, and Tom Petty kicked it all off. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer. And
Sorry, I just woke up.
I have to. Well, no, you didn't just wake up because we paid Tom Petty almost a half hour ago, sir. Unless you're trying to wake yourself up from, I apologize for speaking of which I do not know, but God, it looks nerdy in there. Oh my God!
Very nerdy in here.
So Jared brought in a whole bunch of paraphernalia for himself and Steve. He knows that I'm not interested and don't even want to be involved, so he didn't even really go into a lot of detail with me, other than to tell me about some of the things that he bestowed upon you. But it's all a whole bunch of bookworm stuff going on in there, and there was some unboxing that was happening because Jared had a priority mail package, and he hadn't opened it yet, so he waited to open his package when we got in the studio. And well, luckily he was doing it out there with you, Steve.
Yes.
And well, do you want, before I go into the segment I had planned for this, do you want to actually tell us a little bit about what you were just looking at? Because God, it looked nerdy.
Oh, the packaging was just a book cover.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was just fun.
I'm super nerdy, and I need all my book.
Thank you for clarifying that again.
I need all my book covers to be in the library plastic. All the covers there, so that's what I got. I got the library covers, and I put my Twin Peaks book into its library thing.
Cover.
You know what's fantastic is that nobody out there has any idea what the hell a library book cover even is.
I know,
You
but we
realize
know,
that most people don't know that, right?
But we know, and it's the plastic wrap
No,
that you find.
When are you going to get your Jared identification marks on the books?
I won't put that on there.
No? You sure?
No.
What is it?
Then it's just because
Some ISBN numbers or something.
I was going to say, what is a Jared identification
Like in a
number?
library.
like Jared's library.
Yes.
So do you have your own Dewey Decimal System in your house?
I have my method on how I keep my books on my bookshelf.
Okay.
But yeah, so I wanted to make sure I got the the protection on it.
On the wrap.
Protection's important.
The book cover wrap.
Yeah.
And
So
then,
it's a book condom, basically, is what you're doing.
Yeah, it is.
basically.
Okay.
And then I brought in Steve a gift of
Again.
of the Scalped series, which is a based on the
Very nice, I have to say.
It's a graphic novel about Indians and the Indian reservation and the crime.
Native Americans.
I was going to say, is it Native Americans, American Indians, not actual India Indians.
Let me tell you.
Let me take this level down a tad.
Yeah, so that's what that was. That's
All
what
right, well,
saw.
there you go. Well, it was as nerdy as I thought it was, so that's good to know.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, 508-531-1303.
Been a couple of weeks.
Give us a call. Let us know what you want to hear. It's Classic Rock until 11 o'clock. We can get anything else on that you want. And, Jared, you pestered me for probably about a month or so, give or take, for me to embark on this journey. And finally, the other week I was on vacation. And Steve was able to chime in on this, too, because he watched it as well. So Stranger Things on Netflix was the next big thing, the next big Netflix thing.
Yes.
That I hadn't yet jumped on board with. And now that I have.
The soundtrack is beautiful.
Oh, the soundtrack's great.
I'm on the border of getting the soundtrack. There's 2 volumes of the soundtrack now out on vinyl.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
It's available on iTunes as well for those of you who want iTunes.
I have it on my Apple Music.
Yeah,
But
right.
I'm iffy if I want it on vinyl. I had the Twin Peaks one. That sounds phenomenal on vinyl. But anyway, let's continue.
Now, who's the composer of this one, though? It's not Badalamenti.
No, it's two guys that are in the band. I believe it's called Pulse.
And-
they're
what-
part
I
of
mean-
this electronic.
Yeah, and I mean,
electronica
what's
band.
fantastic about this is just the recreation of the 80s sound.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
it's like, without, how do I put this? Without
Being
completely
cheesy.
being cheesy, without completely copying something else that already existed in the 80s, but making something that sounded like it would have come out of that time period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
read
but
it.
giving it its own, it almost has that little, it's got like a little modern tinge to it, right? It's got
Yeah.
that little piece that makes it seem current and a throwback at the same time. I loved it.
I read a article with the composers talking about what they wanted to do. They wanted to emulate the music from the 80s, like Vangelis and such, but they didn't want. They also wanted to bring in a modern sensibility to it.
Or even Kraftwerk.
Yeah.
Who are getting indicted.
And Kyle Dixon and Michael Stein, by the way, are the names of the composers
Yeah.
who put these together.
And they formed that band Pulse.
Yeah. So anyway, enough about the music. Let's talk about the show for a little
Let's
bit.
do it.
The show is phenomenal.
Yes, it was.
And you know what? I've seen David Harbour in a lot of things, just as a character actor. He played Sheriff Hopper.
Yes.
So I've seen him in a bunch of stuff, and I've always liked him, and I like him even more now that I've seen him in this.
Mm-hmm.
I liked his character's progression. I could tell at the beginning. There's certain air marks in stories and drama that are coming up, right? So when you see him basically like smoking a cigarette and brushing his teeth at the same time, and sort of living in a trailer, well, this guy's on the down and outs, and something's going to happen to sort of, his redemption, right? And that that's coming. But at the same time, it's like to see how his character develops while investigating this case. The way he played it out was just great, and the kids were great. The kid with no teeth was my personal favorite.
He's my favorite.
Oh my God.
He's an opera singer, too.
Yeah, the sheriff. He's a lot bigger than I thought he was.
Oh, really?
Like just
yeah.
because you watched him in Black Mass.
He was in Black Mass. He's been in everything. He's been in like Revolutionary Road. He's been in a bunch of random stuff.
He's been in a bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
but like he's a lot bigger than I thought he was.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, good God, man, what happened to you?
And I mean, I don't know if anybody bulks up for a Netflix show, but if they do, maybe he did. I don't know.
Especially that role,
Right.
You don't need to.
And also Winona Ryder, who has
phenomenal.
been. I mean, she's been on and off as far as either. I don't want to say not reputation necessarily, but just how she's done in Hollywood, just sort of like the hard knocks that she's taken and so forth. And she just knocked it out of the park in this one, as far as I was concerned.
Oh, I agree.
And it's probably it's one of the best things that I've seen her do. One of the best things I've seen her do in years. And because I don't even think I've really seen her do that much. She was in Black Swan for like a few scenes, but she was good in that for what she was in, but it was a relatively small part.
That was my only problem with the show. Was her.
What do you mean?
Was her performance.
What did you like about it?
It
What?
No. It seemed a little.
Oh, here we
off.
go. Here we go. Here's
It
something that
seemed
Jared
just-
didn't like.
No, because like she was in The Crucible, fantastic. She was in Black Swan, and she was fantastic there, right? Even for like the 2 minutes that she was in. But there's something a little off about for her performance in the show. Just a little. Only like in the beginning couple of episodes, like almost like she was trying to find her ground, and it took a couple of episodes to find it. But that's all. That's all.
To each his own, maybe, because I thought she was great through the whole thing, and I
Yeah, me too.
and yeah, with the kids, I mean, the kids did a great job. The girl who played 11 was fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved all the homages to Stephen King that was in there. You know,
Spielberg.
Spielberg, Stephen King, you name it. You know, the kids walking down the train tracks and all that stuff. The kids jumping on
by
their
Me.
bikes. You know, Matthew Modine, who I liked in this as well. Basically playing, you know, being the
like 4 lines.
yeah, right. And being the bigwig who was basically like, he reminded me of the guys, you know, Peter Coyote and E.T. just jumping out of the minivan and trying to chase the kids down and whatnot.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just all of that stuff. I mean, it was just great.
This is a wonderful show.
Now, you know, they're interviewing other female people that might not mind shaving their heads for the second season.
Yeah. Well, I still have my feelings about the second season.
Well, we've got to wait and see. We haven't seen it yet.
Please.
Well, no, because
Feelings
again,
about it.
Here we go. Please, Jared, tell us your feelings about the second season.
See, all right. So the way the show for me feels like those old 80 books that we used to read, where it was like the chapter books, and you know, you had every chapter had the way it did. I'm sorry.
There's a sentence in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Find it.
I was getting flustered.
Do it yourself radio.
But so like
You get
so you have
flustered?
book 1, and then book 2 would be the same writer or whatever, the same title of the book, but then it would have a subtitle. Like instead of it being one thing, it's something new, and it's all a different story. And I thought it was going to be like an anthology type of show, much like American Horror Story, where it had a theme in one season, but the next season would be a different themed thing.
Do we know that that's not going to be the case?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the way they've been talking, the way that they're going to be...
We want to know what happened to Barb.
Well, we
Bob's
saw
dead.
Yeah, we saw what happened to Barb. She had
But-
the slimy thing coming. Why are we spoiling this for people? By the way,
Because everybody's seen it.
Watch the show.
Yeah.
You're the
Nope.
only person that didn't see it.
Plus,
'cause
nobody's
you're a
listening
doorknob.
anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But, you know, I thought it was going to be... I was hoping for it to be an anthology show where it would be different, but the same actors each season. But that's not the case.
No.
So I'm sure it'll be good because the first one was good.
Right.
But I wanted it to be that way because you almost... Because you run into that trouble, right? Where that was damn good. And then you watch the second season, you're like, damn it.
Right, sort of like I did with True Detective.
Yeah.
That's not an anthology series, granted, but the same thing. It was like you have this self-contained season that ran 8 episodes, and you're like, wow, that was really good.
That's what
and then
they're-
you get to season 2, and you're like, that was not as good.
Yeah, well, that's what they were trying to do.
You know, and-
like an anthology type of show with that, and they dropped the bag on it.
All right. Are they even going to do any more of those, or no?
The president of HBO says that I wouldn't call it dead, but I wouldn't call it active.
Basically because they just mucked up the second season,
Yeah.
something awful.
And
they're
the
basically
writer's
just-
like, no, man, I'm a terrific writer. F you.
And I mean, I like some things about the second season of True Detective, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it just wasn't, it didn't live up to the first one.
No.
And the first one had some, not to sound like Jared, the first season had some issues as well. There were some unresolved plot lines. There were some loose ends they could have tied up a little bit neater or tied up at all. But it just for sheer acting and the way they paced the story out and everything like that I just loved. And I just didn't feel that was there in the second season.
The interesting thing about season 2 of True Detective is that Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey exclusively produced it. So you're going, well, you'd figure that you guys would be a little better on that end.
Right. What happened?
What happened?
Give us a call, 508-531-1303. We're done nerding you out, and we're going to get into another block of classic rock. So let us know what you want to hear. Up next, we got a double shot of 2 bands that are freshly inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It's time to dust off some crusty, dirty old relics. Maybe they'll clean some of the records, too, while they're at it. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, and Steve Rimmer. The Saturday Night Soundtrack on 91.5 WBIM.
Well, that's Molly Hatchet. That was by request from Steve the Sleeve at 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday Night Soundtrack before that, in that block heard from the Talking Heads, Toto, Big Brother and the Holding Company, featuring Janis Joplin, of course. and kicked it all off with Pearl Jam and the Cars. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer, and I got to say, when I introduced that block at the beginning, I misspoke, and it might have been wishful thinking that I said that we had back-to-back Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. Well, that's not true.
The
Cars
nominees.
and Pearl Jam are now nominees.
Yes.
Cars, that's the wishful thinking part, because they should have been in there long ago.
Oh, God.
No idea why they're not in there, but Pearl Jam is this is the first year that they're eligible, and they've been nominated. And we've got the full list of nominees here, by the way, and we're going to dig into this here. I'm sure some of us have some harsher thoughts about some of these than others.
Chaka Khan.
And we'll take a look. I think or at least the list that I was looking at is, I think this one's an alphabetical one.
Yeah, it is.
So it kicks off with Bad. Do you know any? And here I claim ignorance. Who is Bad Brains?
I know the name, and I can remember them from the 70s?
80s. They're a punk band.
Okay.
Composed of all African Americans.
Okay.
Fantastic. They did their first 2 albums were terrific. And if you're not familiar with them,
Like myself.
Yeah.
you're a bunch of doorknobs.
So I'm a doorknob. Well, that's fine. Shaka Khan, of course.
She's playing
Chic,
down in Twin Rivers this weekend.
Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
I could take or leave Depeche Mode. Electric Light Orchestra, I'm kind of surprised it's not in there.
Me too.
I could sort of sparingly take or leave them as well. There's some songs that I like from them, and a whole
Jeff
bunch
Lynne's
of stuff I
good.
don't like.
I wish they could go away.
Here's the one that kills me. Jay Giles Band. How the hell are they not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame
You know
already?
what? I think what it is that, like, in the beginning of this whole Rock and Roll Hall of Fame business is that they're very stingy. And then now that we're running out of actual acts to put in, they're going, oh crap, let's just go back and just put some people in there that should have been in there in the first place.
I mean, the thing is, even if you're being stingy, how do you not put Jay Giles in from the beginning of when he's or I say from when the band was eligible?
Yeah.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
Jane's Addiction, meh.
Nah, definitely should be in.
Janet Jackson and her nipples, they're getting in there.
Joan
Potentially.
Baez, though.
Joan Baez.
How the hell could she not be in
No
there?
idea how she hasn't been in there yet.
Same thing. I think it's
Yeah.
we can't be stingy anymore. Just
Right.
let everybody in.
Exactly.
You've got Joan Baez on the same nominee list as Joe Tex.
I gotcha.
Sex Lex.
I don't know.
What the
I
hell?
don't know what's going on with that. Journey.
Gross.
Somebody wake me.
I understand their influence, but F off.
Kraftwerk. I mean, for God's
there's
sake.
Jared's input on Journey. Yeah, who's Kraftwerk, by the way?
Oh, God. Eastern European
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
synthesizer band, but
Yeah.
oh, God.
They're-
Groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Absolutely groundbreaking.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. MC5, who we actually played by request
Yes,
on this
we did.
program, probably within the
That's
past
another
month or
act
so.
that you were going, why aren't they in there before? Big, heavy riffs. Like, what are you guys doing?
Now, based on the fact that we've said all this leading up to this, now, what do you think about the chances of, and would you agree with, if Pearl Jam made it in the first tryout?
No way. Not
I
when they're
think-
sitting right next to Steppenwolf, for Christ's sake.
There you
Well,
go.
yeah, I think they should go in later.
Yeah, I would agree with
You
that.
know, when they, I don't know.
I
was
like
talking-
me some Pearl Jam, but I don't necessarily know if it's like they're so over the top that they should get in the very first year
Yeah.
that they get
No, they
nominated.
need to be
I,
stubbed a couple of times.
Well, like I said to Steve earlier, I think Pearl Jam is one of those bands again that is right on the cusp of being a great band, and they just haven't really put out the great album yet. You know,
Well,
like,
they better hurry up then.
well, that's what I mean. Like, I mean, they did 10. Okay, 10 was good. Alive
Right.
was good. The other one was good. Like, they had a nice string going on, and then somewhere they kind of lost. Like, it seemed like they were building up to that big
Right.
breakthrough album. And
See,
then,
I feel like 10 has been their best album since and unfortunately it was their first one, so I feel like that's one of those situations where they may have outdone themselves right out of the gate.
I agree.
And it might be pretty difficult to top that at this point.
I don't know. They could pull it off.
Well, they could, but we'll hang around and wait. Like you said, Steppenwolf is next on the list.
Yeah, that's another
Friggin'
one.
mystery why they're not in there.
that's-
Cars, of course, which we just heard from. The Zombies, I had to explain to my wife who the Zombies were.
Really?
And I'm explaining. And I'm sitting in my kitchen, and I can't sing for crap. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, tell me about the way she looked, and she's just like staring at me because she wants me to keep doing it, so because I sound foolish. And I'm like, the way she had to have the color of her hair. Like, are you not getting it yet?
You don't want to just post something up on your phone?
But she's not there.
YouTube.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and she was like, "Oh, okay, I think I kind of know that one. What's another one?" I'm like, "Oh, Jesus." So then I had to pull out. There's 3 big ones.
Yeah, there
and
are.
She's not there. Always jumps right to the top of my head. I can't think of it right now,
me
but
neither.
anyway.
I would never.
Oh, here's a great one. Tupac Shakur.
You guys are laughing. I don't think. I think that's fine.
Oh,
I think that's fine because like NWA was put in there, and then some other groups. I think
Except for the fact,
He's not rock and roll.
correct.
That's the only slight problem with that.
Like
one.
if I was a country fan, I wouldn't want country people in there because they're not rock and roll.
Well, all right, I get that point, right? But I mean, to be.
It's not rock and roll. Full stop.
No, I understand that. I understand. Hang on, right? My point is.
I've had my problems with Shaka Khan too. It's
My
soul
point.
artist.
My point is, sir.
Yeah.
Is that.
While we play this, please explain to me why this is rock and roll and why he should be in there.
No, hang on.
I am hanging on. Continue.
My point of it is that like if you're gonna get all uppity about the fact that he was nominated to go in, right? You have to. You're late to the game.
Yeah.
You're late to the game because other rap artists were also nominated and inducted to the Hall of Fame,
Which they shouldn't have been.
Yeah, and
last
I don't
couple of
agree
years.
with that either.
Yeah, no, that's good.
gonna
If you guys
change
want to
everything, I
disagree,
agree with it.
but the fact is that it's happened, and
No.
you can't go on about this is junk.
So
because
just
it's already
check
happened.
everything out then. It's not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now. We have to change the name.
Right, they should change the
Cleveland,
name
come
if
on.
they're going
If you
to.
go to the museum, you're going to see LL Cool J's chain on there. It's the same thing, and then the argument there is that like it's rock and roll is an attitude.
BS.
Thank you for the control, sir. Now that I've made all my arguments and I've gotten all uppity about it, I actually really like this song, and there are rap songs that I definitely like. There's no question about it, but it's not rock and roll.
Yeah.
There's a place and a time for every particular piece of music.
I get that.
And if you're going to call something a particular Hall of Fame, then you should probably stick with that.
Well, realistically, you're going to run out of stuff to put in it.
What?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so, sir.
Well, I don't know. It's
You're not going to run out if you haven't put Steppenwolf in the goddamn thing
Well,
already.
that's what I mean, though. You're running out of like options to do. You're like, crap. We need to have at least 17. Well, I don't know what the number here is. You need to have at least 12 people going in being nominated. Damn, we don't have any other people that we can nominate. Oh, we can nominate this band, but who the hell wants Nickelback?
They got plenty of bands to go with that haven't been nominated yet.
I feel, and the thing is, like every time this nominee list comes out to me, there's always at least one surprise and usually a few. So if that's the case, I feel like every year it's like, well, everything is going to be every year there's going to be a surprise where you're like, well, how is that person not in there yet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The last group on the list is Yes. They were nominated last year. I thought they were going to get in last year because of bassist Chris Squire having died in June, I think it was, of 2015.
That's usually how it works.
So I kind of thought with him dying just a few months before the nominees got announced, I thought for sure that was going to shoo them in, but apparently not. I also don't know necessarily if that was the first year that Yes had actually gotten nominated.
I think it was the second.
Was it the second?
I feel like it was the second. Yeah.
As far as the list this year, as we mentioned, Bad Brains, Depeche Mode, ELO, Jane's Addiction, Joan Baez's Journey, Pearl Jam, Steppenwolf, Tupac. They're nominees on the ballot for the first time this year, and Pearl Jam and Tupac actually became eligible for the nomination this year. So that's why Tupac also shouldn't get it. He shouldn't get it. First of all, he's dead, so he doesn't care. Second of all, he shouldn't just get it because this is the first year that he's been nominated. It doesn't go that way.
No.
That's not how it should work. Secondly, this is not rock and roll.
No, it's not.
It's not. I'm sorry. I like this song a lot. It's not rock and roll.
You consider the way rock and roll started, where it was appropriating other types of music and playing it, people going, this isn't rock and roll. Same thing.
No.
As Stephen and I
BS.
both stare at you. Bullshit.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that.
508-531-1303. Again, if you want to talk to a whole bunch of old men complaining about a whole bunch of stuff and they're just being closed-minded and all that stuff, well, you come to the right place. We can take care of it for you.
Welcome to the Closed-Minded Show.
Yeah. Is that going to be the name? Well, you know what? We'll make that the name of the show every other week.
Well, wait a second. Women in offices? No, I'm sorry. You belong in a kitchen.
So is this thing happening tonight or is it another night?
What's that?
Down the hallway here.
Oh, I don't know what's happening there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it might impede upon our delivery.
Right.
If there's
crap.
people down there.
I didn't see any people out there when I was calling.
Oh, okay.
No, there was some activity down in the restrooms on the floor below us in that little TV studio where usually nobody ever is. There was a whole big congregation of people.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, excuse me, excuse me, got to number one. And then I'll be right back. I'll be out of your way in a second. Yes. In case anybody wants to know, we share with you all the details of our show, whether you want it or not. 508-531-1303. Let us know what you want to hear. We're going to get into another block of classic rock, and that's how it's going to go. And then we're going to probably come back on and complain about some more stuff a little bit later on.
Yes, we are.
That's how it works. You got SNS on BIM.
If your bed is in a small town and that's good enough for you, you're one of the only listeners who can hear us on an actual radio.
Scrolling through the radio and found you guys, man. Awesome.
Congratulations. Bridgewater's Saturday Night Soundtrack with Rob Hicks on 91.5 WBIM.
This is Queen at 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. The SNS radio show, Rob Hicks, Steve Rimmer, and Jared Barbetta missing in action but negotiating our food situation.
So that's a good reason for him.
Exactly. It's a good reason for him to be truant.
Yes.
Trying to figure out if, he can get our food past all the metal detector stuff that's going on and everything. Normally we would know what type of event was going on, but we don't have Mikey D to give us this sort of info anymore.
That's true. That's the one part we're missing.
That was the one part that was useful about that guy.
Exactly.
And now we can't friggin' get... Well,
no. To tell you one thing, though, there's no huge perfume smell coming down the corridor.
Well, that's good. Are there people down there, though? Has it started okay, so the event...
There are people sitting at the tables.
Okay, so does it look like it's in full gear?
Yes.
Okay, so that's that's a good sign.
But
because that means
we'll know more when Jared gets back.
Right.
Because he's running the gauntlet right now.
Closely monitor the situation.
Yes. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Did you get in here? I don't want two of them.
What are we talking about?
Oh, we're actually going to do a yay or nay. It's an unusual yay or nay because it actually just sort of I'll get that in a second. It's it's something it's a version of a song that's been played in concerts before and is now just being made available through BBC sessions that are going to be released in the next month.
Oh, yes.
So I think Steve already knows what I'm talking about.
Very nice, especially after what you just played.
Right. So no surprise that it's Queen. But this is...
Ooh, yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, did you hear this? So for anybody that didn't hear it, so Queen and their new BBC sessions that are going to be coming out, again, I believe that's coming out the beginning of next month, beginning of November. One of the tracks that they got on there is a fast version of We Will Rock You that nobody's ever heard recorded before, but has been part of other concerts and other concert albums they've put together in the past. I like this a lot.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna throw that out there right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to hide whether or not this is a yay or nay from me. It's a definite resounding yay.
Absolutely.
Pretty much for me, anything that's Queen is a definite resounding yay. I've only gained appreciation for Queen, I would say, over the course of the years. And, you know what I mean? Like, I always liked them. And then I think as I've gotten older and listened to more and more of their catalog, I've just liked them even more and more, the more stuff that I've heard. And this is just great. It would have been interesting if this was how they had decided to go with the original record.
Because it's the way I always wanted it to go.
You know? Somebody wrote in one of the articles that I was reading, and I think it's true to an extent, that this almost sounds like Queen meets The Who.
Yes.
The tempo of the song, the way the song plays out. And then you'll hear probably, I think more towards the end of the song, the ending of this track definitely sounds like the ending of a Who track, without question. And again, that's the BBC session. I'm going to get a date on that, actually, because I think it's coming out sooner than I thought. It was one of those things where they just dropped this recently, within the past week or so. And then they had said that it was going to be part of the BBC sessions, and because they had just brought it out, I thought maybe it was something that was going to take forever to come out. But I believe it's just going to be the first or second week in November. Looks like it is November 4th. So we're only talking a couple of weeks.
Day before Bonfire Night.
Until this thing comes out. And then I think, they did 70s albums and stuff, and they did live albums where they did this version of the song in the live performances as well. But this is just great. And I don't know if I'm going to pick up the whole album yet, but I'm definitely going to pick up this track.
Yeah.
Without question. It's just, there's no reason that wouldn't happen. And here's the ending that sort of is a little bit Who-like. Holy God in heaven. So there you go. Queen BBC sessions coming out November 4th. The fast version, they call it, quote unquote, of We Will Rock You'll be on there. So, we're talking about Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees and nominees and everything else. Who doesn't give an absolute rat's ass about getting into anything is Bob Dylan, who just got the Nobel Prize for Literature, and nobody can track the dude down.
No.
Nobody knows where he is.
And he was out playing that night.
Right. And the thing is, he hasn't. So now they've gotten to the point now where the people who do, it's almost like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was with Steve Miller. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he was outspoken about the fact that he thought that the whole progress was a disgrace. But, basically they're just, the Nobel Prize committee is now starting to get to the point where they're like, listen, dude, it's kind of disrespectful that you haven't even acknowledged this.
Oh, they're now calling him arrogant.
Up until this point. Rude and arrogant are some of the words that I've seen thrown about.
Yeah, I wouldn't use that.
I guess on his website, I guess there was a brief mention of the fact that he had won the prize, and then it was taken back down.
I don't think it was him.
It's not him. He doesn't. Bob Dylan doesn't even know if he has a website out there. He doesn't even know what a website is.
It was the advertisement for his autobiography.
Oh, okay.
And they said, by Nobel Prize-winning author. And then it was
they just yanked it down right away. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder if that what happened after they called him a moron.
Who?
Like the Nobel Peace people. They're like, oh, well, he's an arrogant fool. And then
they haven't used the word fool, and they haven't used the word moron.
Well, you know what I'm trying to say.
I don't know what the timing was, in other words. I don't know if they took the reference down before or after the Nobel Prize committee was kind of like, come on, man, why can't you just,
Yeah, they were knocking at his door.
Come on. Knocking on heaven's door.
Oh, exactly.
Knocking on Dylan's door.
And nobody's answering.
Do you want this prize, you fool?
Speaking of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees, we got another one on deck.
Uh-huh.
This is a vinyl selection from Steve. Tell us a little bit about it.
Which one? I don't even know which one you're going to play.
This never works. Yeah, it's the only vinyl you've brought into me all evening, sir.
It's just another track from
He brings me one record, and then he's like, I don't know what it is.
It's a track from Deep Purple called Strange Kind of Woman, but it's from the album Made in Japan, which is one of the biggest live albums ever, I think.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Be. And it's one of those tracks that doesn't get as much airplay as it should do. So, Strange Kind of Woman.
That's what SNS is for. Mm-hmm. Not Strange Kind of Women, but playing stuff that people don't.
Exactly.
You guys get the idea. 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Give us a call. Let us know what you want to hear. 508-531-1303. The ZZ Top is on 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday Night Soundtrack. That one was on their Eliminator album. Rush was before that. U2 kicked it off with live Deep Purple. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer just after 9.
Just after food.
Just after food. Yes, just after food as well.
I don't care what time it is.
Oh, my food was delicious. I got a meatball and sausage sub this time, and usually I just get meatball, but I felt like sausage.
I got extra bacon and grilled mushrooms on my steakhouse.
Extra bacon, good.
Yep.
Mushrooms, gross.
Love mushrooms.
All right, well, there you go. Well, I don't. So we'll agree to disagree on that one.
So thank you, Campus Pizza.
Yes, thank you, Campus Pizza. It was delicious. And, I think with mine, the little injection of sausage made all the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As they always say.
That's what I've heard, at least. Yes. Hey, speaking of raising awareness about things and all this, Steve had a procedure over the past week. All men, as you start to, I don't want to say getting up there, but all men, basically, I think, did they say over the age of 40 now, or what's the threshold?
I think 45.
Because I'm closing in on 40, and I believe it or not, it's been the kind of thing that's been in the back of my head that I'm going to have to do at some point. So it was just a colonoscopy, right?
Yes.
I don't mean just a colonoscopy, but I mean...
But as the anaesthetist said, you decided to be a big boy.
I don't know what that means.
Because he's like, is there any reason for you having this procedure?
Oh, so he was just saying, he was congratulating you for being preventative, in other words.
Yes, I said, no, I just told at my age it would be the best thing for me to do.
Now, had you been for one before?
No, but he wanted me to go last year, and I kind of skirted the issue a little bit.
Now, how on a scale of 1 to 10, how was it in I don't want details, but how was it in comparison to what you would have expected?
Completely the opposite.
Okay.
Because I expected the actual procedure to be the part that I should be dreading the most.
The prep is, right?
But the prep is not so much dread, but oh my God, really? It's going to make my body do what? And how often and how many hours am I going to be spending in that little room over there?
I mean...
Yeah, it was quite eye-opening.
From the...
I know there were other openings.
I was going to say opening in many ways.
Yes.
In the conversation that Jared and I were having on the way here to the show, and when we first got here, it sounds like you could have gone for one of those procedures within the past day or so.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, so basically the whole idea being that, like Steve said, if you're in your mid 40s or so, or you're anywhere past that, it's a good thing to go. They say to go every year, or is it every couple of years? Or
he did the procedure, and then he said he took samples of 2 things he found. But
Okay.
he thinks there's no difficulty. No problems with them whatsoever. I
Right.
found out in a week, and then he goes, so I think you should have this done again in another 5 years.
Oh, okay. Well,
So,
that's good.
no, it's nothing.
So it's kind of dependent upon your individual experience, too.
Yes, exactly.
Public service announcement for your friends here in SNS, and we always joke around about these things because it's funny, and they're putting something up your butt, and that's hilarious, and we're 12 years old. But in all serious,
Just 8.
yeah, in all seriousness, it's a good thing to do, and it's something that you
definitely.
definitely should do. And it's men and women. Yeah, it's not gender specific. It's something that you should all have done once you reach a certain age, which I guess they're saying is about mid 40s.
See, the beauty is, I'd been with Jean a few times because she's had several during the course of her medical history, and they didn't used to put you out. They made
Right.
you comfortable.
No,
but you used to be.
I remember that.
wait.
I don't remember it from my own personal experience, but I remember it from. I mean, my father's in his mid 60s now, and he's been getting these for a while. And back when he started, the threshold was probably around what it is now, 40s, 50s. So I mean, I remember hearing about him 15, 20 years ago, him going to get it, and he was like, "Yeah, they don't put you out or anything." And I was like, huh? What? They're going to do what with the wear? And
I was out.
I'm not going to be asleep for that. But it's good to know that medical technology has advanced to the point where they're just going to knock me the hell out.
I'm going to just say what I said to Steve.
Yeah.
It's 2016.
Yes.
How is it that we do not have a less invasive method of this testing?
Exactly.
That
Right.
doesn't make any damn sense.
Yeah, no, I get you. And I agree with that. And I'm hoping that within the next, what have I got, like 7 years?
Yeah,
until
they'll
I'm
come up with
45?
something.
I'm hoping within the next 7 years. So, guys, get on the stick here. And, within the next 7 years, come up with something where you can just ultrasound me and find out everything that you need to find out, because I don't want to go through this crap. So, and then once Steve, once you're into your 60s and so forth, then you won't have to go through it either. And you can just get ultrasounded, and that'll be great. And then speaking of all these things that we have to do and everything else, Steve, you and I are married. Not
to each other.
We hasten to point out, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not for all you LGBT people.
Yeah. So, does your
Oh, man.
does your wife ever want to go places but then not know where she wants to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Does she make you drive in those circumstances?
No.
Okay, good. So here's my situation. So, we're hanging around the house. First of all, let me just say, I'm one of those people who would be very happy just hanging around my house for hours watching TV, doing stuff with my iTunes or with the show or whatever else I need to do, because I'm happy as a clam when I'm doing all that crap. So I'm I'm in the middle of doing stuff like that, and I've been doing it for a few hours at a certain point, and this was last Saturday or Sunday or whatever it was. And she looks at me and she goes, "Well, do you want to do something?"
I am
doing something, all right. But I know what that means, and then I say, well, yeah, we can do whatever you want to do. Okay. So I go and I put my shoes on and everything, and I get ready, and then I said, well, what do you want to do? Well, I don't know. Well, okay. Is there any place specific you want to go? Well, not really. Do we need anything? Is there any particular store we should go? Nah. Are you hungry for dinner yet? Not quite yet. Okay. So we're narrowing it down, and then in the meantime, she's like, "You don't have your, you don't have your shoes on yet. You don't have your." So apparently, she's standing in the kitchen waiting for me. I'm still trying to get ready because she just dropped this notice on me that we're going someplace. I don't know where it is, and I don't know what we're gonna do when we get there. And then so I'm in a hurry trying to get ready, and she's like standing there just waiting for me. I finally get everything together. I go, "Are you driving?" And she goes, "No, you can drive." I'm like, "Well, where am I going?"
Where am I driving to?
Well, I don't know. Okay, fine. So I by default, and again, this is like 5 o'clock on a Sunday, I just drive to the mall. Excuse me, the Kingston Collection. Because it's the only place that I know that's open where you can walk around and probably spend, kill at least 20 minutes to a half hour, even just walking around, even if you don't go to a particular place. So I figure that's a pretty safe bet. So we get there. I pull in the parking lot. I turn the ignition off. I go to get out of the truck. Oh, wait a minute. I got to put my face on.
Oh,
well,
God.
what the hell were you doing? When you were complaining that I didn't have my shoes, and now you were complaining that I didn't have everything all together, and then you were just waiting around for me, and you were giving me that look, the face that they give, and then everything else. And then the whole time you were doing that, you could have been, whatever you have to do to your face, you could have been putting that face on, and then we would have been fine. I don't understand why it's a and if this was an issue and you had a specific place you wanted to go or you didn't know where you wanted to go, then why am I driving around randomly just to try to find...
Don't try to make sense of it, sir.
Because it's one of those situations where the women are testing you because they want you to be the person in charge. So they figure, hey, let's go somewhere. I am
in charge.
No,
my decision was to stay home and keep doing the crap I was doing.
No, that's not what they want, though. No. They want you to be like, hey, listen, broad, let's go to this place. And then she's like, oh, yeah, we're going to do that? And you're like, yeah, because I'm a man and I'm putting my foot down.
And then when you get, and we're just going to
you get there and she's like, what the hell is this?
And we're just going to the mall. Why do you have to sit in the truck and put your face on?
I think that's because a lot of ladies' clothing requires a bunch of extra stuff like their faces do.
Or bet a button. Yeah. It works even when he's here.
Yes.
So I don't know. Then always comes the toiling conversation. Well, what do you want for dinner? I don't know. Jesus Christ.
I know. I just take over.
Well, do you want the... No. But here's the problem, is that I try to take over, and then I go to pull into a parking lot of a place where we've clearly been driving to. You get to a point, and I think I've mentioned this before, you drive for 10 minutes, you get to a particular point, and you know where I'm going. At that point, please tell me that's not where you want to go.
Yeah.
When I pull in the parking lot and I see no parking spaces, and then you say... Oh, that's good. I didn't want to come here anyway. That's not helpful information at that point in time.
Yeah.
That would have been useful maybe 5 minutes ago when I could have diverted to another location.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes,
she had a whole day with her. She had a whole day with her friend for her friend's birthday today and everything. So I had the day to myself. I actually had it. I mean, it was just it was basically just an unadulterated geek fest where I was just sitting there watching movies and doing show stuff all day. And then, this guy showed up 45 minutes earlier than he said he was going to.
Oh, so it wasn't the 5:30?
No, so he sends as you know, because you're on the group message, he sends messages saying, 5:30, Rob? Yep, 4:45. There he is. And for whatever reason, I just happened to look out the window, out on my porch, and I saw a vehicle, and I was like, is that Jared's vehicle? And then I hear knocking, because I had just turned my back, and then, there he was.
Hey, how's your basement?
Basement's coming along.
Okay.
The good thing is it looks like a room. There's still random things that needs to be done to it, but it's at the point. We're in the home stretch now.
Okay.
Maybe a couple of weeks, and then the whole thing will be together, and it'll be great. Again, as I mentioned, ironically, I don't think I have enough money left over this year for the television that I wanted to get as a result of. But the good thing is next year. So now I've got an unadulterated bonus coming in that is not spoken for or earmarked for anything that I know of.
Yes,
at this point in time.
Does she know about it?
Oh yeah, she knows about it.
Okay.
Well, she knows that this was the whole goal of doing this thing in the first place. The problem is, and the crux of this whole situation is that I don't think that she really understands the extent of television that I am looking to get. She knows the size, but I don't really think she understands the quality. She doesn't even know what 4K is.
No.
And I don't think she understands what the quality is that I'm going after. And I'm not quite positive that she's aware of the price points in the current market for this type of television set. The good thing is, if I have to wait until next year, my bonus comes in February, and then by that point, new models will be coming out. Maybe the one that I've had my eye on will drop by, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it won't be as bad at that point. And then I'll have more money at that point anyway to get it. It's fine. I've waited this long. I can wait another 4 months.
Yes.
Or whatever. The good thing is the basement will be done. We won't have to worry about it, and that whole situation will be finished.
Good.
Finally. 508-531-1303. Why is no one calling us?
Yeah, we haven't had a single call.
Why isn't no one listening to our goddamn show?
Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
This weekend is a birthday of a girl at my office.
Happy birthday, girl.
Her name is Lori.
Happy birthday, Lori.
Just in case she's listening. I don't think she is, but, there you go. Happy birthday.
Hey, can't you just say happy birthday, Lori, in case she's listening, and you don't have to throw in the I don't think she is part? Can we not be pessimists? Can we try to be a little bit glass half full on this?
It's funny coming from the guy who's always commenting, "Oh, like us on Facebook and Twitter and all that other junk," and then follow up by, "And we don't have any listeners following us, or we don't have any new followers or friends or likes or whatever on the Facebook."
Yeah, no, we don't.
So that's hilarious that that's you.
Well, I haven't really said that in a while, and I've
care.
basically come out and said that Twitter's garbage anyway. I don't really care what anybody's doing on Twitter. Our Facebook has held steady, so that's good. No new likes, but nobody has dropped off. So that's fine. I can deal with that. You know what I mean? I'm good with that, as long as it maintains.
No.
Yeah.
Now, my buddy at work just happened to choose, not last week, but the prior week, for the first time to tune into live stream and listen to the whole show.
Okay.
That was the show I wasn't on.
Oh, great. That was the show that was a 5.5 in Jared's opinion.
Yeah, it was like a 4.3.
So
we're all out of sorts because we're bummed out.
We were all out of sorts. We were worried about you. I didn't feel good because I had a cold coming on. So there was a whole bunch, not to make excuses, but there was a whole bunch of stuff going on that was just throwing us the hell off. Yeah. So hopefully if he's listening again, or if he decides to listen, maybe just mention to him, hey, that show was actually not representative of what you would normally hear on the Saturday Night Soundtrack. Because first of all, you would normally hear myself. And then secondly, these guys normally don't suck.
Yeah.
So maybe throw that in there as well, and then he'll know, and then he can give us another try.
Sure.
Yeah. 508-531-1303. Give us a call. Let us know what you want to hear. Another block of classic rock coming up. SNS on BIM.
The Saturday Night Soundtrack.
Saturday night. Saturday night. Saturday night. Saturday night.
Actually, pretty nice little Saturday.
WBIM.
This is Frank Zappa at 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. SNS radio show. That one's off his Joe's Garage album, and Lucille messed his mind up. Lucille messed somebody's mind up, and we're going to find out who it was tomorrow night. Steve's excited to find out about it.
Very excited.
And so we've been waiting in suspense for the past, what's it been now? Because when did the show actually, when did Walking Dead actually end last season?
God, I can't remember. It's been so long.
Can
you turn this mic off?
I don't think I could. No.
Yeah.
We've experimented numerous times to see if it would be possible to turn his mic off and leave yours on, and it is not possible. We can't do it. So anyway, so at the end of last season, obviously, Negan apparently killed someone, and we don't know who it was. Peter just left, right?
Yeah.
Good. So that was bound to happen at some point.
Yes, with that name it was.
Holy God.
But
We have no idea what happened.
No.
And we're waiting to find out. I can't remember. I know we talked about it at some point last semester, but do you have any theories as to who it might be?
I did, and I've given them all up.
I remember at the end of last season, I remember people were going in and they were like, trying to figure out the whole POV, like the point of vision of where
you can't do it,
where Negan was standing when he took the swings, and in relation to where people were sitting around in the circle, and everyone was like, well, that's probably not really going to work, because they probably just altered and skewed reality in order for you not to. They're not just going to tip their hand like that.
No,
and
the big consensus from what I've been hearing recently is it's Maggie or Glenn.
I'm voting for Maggie.
Yeah.
Number one, not only because I like Glenn better than Maggie, but number two, she's not gonna. This whole baby thing is not gonna end well.
No.
If she's able to remain alive and she just keeps with the carrying on and all that, and even if she has the baby and it's healthy, which it would be remarkable in the shape that she's in at this point, how is she ever gonna? You know what I mean? Now you've got another, because you've got what's her name, Judy.
Yes.
You get Judith running around being annoying and just sort of dragging the whole group down and causing issues. And then now you're going to have another baby in the group? I feel like that doesn't really work.
No.
But Maggie's so beautiful.
No babies.
I mean, Maggie's hot. I'll give you that. But at the same time, there's absolutely no need for her to be on the program, just kind of mucking things up with another kid. It doesn't need to happen. They need to find another way out of that. They already almost killed Glenn, which is why I don't think it's good. It was Glenn in the graphic novels, but they pulled the false alarm with him during last season, so I don't think they're going to do it again. Now,
you watch it be one of them, the less inconsequential guys.
Right, it's going to end up. Watch it end up being, and I'm not saying that he's inconsequential, but watch it be. Who's the
the redhead?
Yes,
I can never remember his name.
God, it begins with an A, and I can't remember his name.
Albert.
No, it's not Albert.
Name is Abraham. I don't even watch the show.
Thank you, Abraham. Thank you.
Dorks.
I'm glad we left your mic on for that one contribution. So people have said that it might be Abraham, and then, I just hope it's not another one of those I want it to be somebody important, and I want it to be somebody who really shakes things up.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want it to be one of those stupid deals. You remember the end of the season? I can't even remember which season it is because it's all a blur. But remember the end of that one season where the woman who was running the place where they've all been living, like her husband got killed?
Yes.
And it was like, I give a crap about her husband. This woman's husband. I've known him for half a season.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I don't really understand why that has to, because I remember they built it up and they were like, oh, it's going to be such an emotional, got climax to the season and it's going to rip your heart out and everything. Well, no, it didn't. No, it didn't, because I hardly knew this guy. If you kill somebody that I've known for 5 episodes over, people that I've known for 5 or 6 years, it's not going to have that much of an impact.
No.
I'm probably going to be fine with it. So I doubt it's going to be Daryl. I don't think it's going to be Glenn.
No.
I'm leaning in a Maggie or, God damn it, Abraham.
Yes.
I'm leaning in a Maggie or Abraham direction. This is what happens when old people do your radio programs for you. So we'll get to find out. Now, I know that your habit is usually that you wait until you DVR it and then you wait until Monday and you fast forward through the commercials. Are you going to do that, or are you going to watch it tomorrow?
Here's my dilemma. There's no way in hell I can go into Monday and have any form of media whatsoever going until I've watched the show. So
True.
I'm aiming on trying to watch this tomorrow, but as you know, I only get 2 hours sleep tonight.
Right.
I come home tomorrow afternoon. I have the Grand Prix of Austin, Texas, that I need to watch at 2:30, and then the Pats game at 4:30.
That I need to watch at 2:30.
Exactly. So I'm booked all the way up to at least 6:30 tomorrow. And then what if
Jared,
if
we try to send messages to Steve tomorrow, he will probably not be very responsive.
He won't be there.
No, but if I try and take a nap at 6:30, I'm either never going to wake up from it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get you.
Because I'll be just too groggy. So I don't know.
And I'll tell you what, not to again.
It's going to be a long episode too. So
is it really?
It's an hour and a half, I think.
Oh, jeez. That's like the kiss of death, though, because every time they do an hour and a half episode, it sucks.
I think it is. I mean, God, Fear was so.
If they're going
this one would be.
I just hope it's good. That's pretty much all. That's all I have to say. But anyway, so we'll find out what happens tomorrow night, and I still might find out what happens Monday. I don't think it's going to be as difficult for me, but like you said, I got to remember not to look at Facebook. I think people on Facebook are probably, they're pretty reasonably. They know not to give anything away, at least within the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
Except for some idiots that I know that probably are going to post things while they're watching the show.
Yes.
Jared knows who I'm talking about. He's probably going to post some stuff while he's watching the show, and he's going to make some ridiculous insights that make no sense. And I just know it's happening.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's
going to happen. So I got to avoid that entirely, or else just watch the show.
Here's my dilemma. I have to listen to this crap all damn day on Monday because everybody in the office is going to be talking about it, and I'm sitting next to this dolt. So I'm going to be hearing about it all day Monday, about how right he was or how he knew that was going to happen.
Does he have any particular theory?
He's thinking it's like what's in the books.
Really? What?
Yeah, what's in the books?
Okay.
Being Glenn.
Gotcha.
My feeling is that as far as I know, the actor who plays Daryl hasn't signed a renewal contract yet, so that right there is kind of a clue. I think that he might be going because most of the times, if you don't sign your contract, you're out.
Except for the fact that I feel like if they were going to have Daryl out, they wouldn't have done it this way. And they wouldn't have made it the cliffhanger, and then all of a sudden you come back, and the beginning of the season, Daryl's dead. I feel like they would lead up to that, and you would actually see Daryl get killed.
Yeah.
Like in a, maybe a mid-season finale or something like that if the contract's not up. But who knows? Who knows?
We'll find out tomorrow.
I guess we'll find out tomorrow. The good thing is Glenn's probably not dead because the person we're talking about is very likely wrong. As he is about most things, and this is probably going to be no exception. So I'm not too concerned about that part.
Right. But I also said while writing the Winter Hill script, watch, Rob, the minute I finish the script, they're going to catch Bulger, and what happens? I finish the script, Bulger's captured, there you go. And there's been a couple instances where that's happened, and you've been a witness to that, so...
I stand as a witness, sir.
We'll see what happens.
Yes, we will. 508-531.
I hope he's dead.
1303.
I'll rub it in your face.
Oh, the guy on the show, not okay. Yeah. Give us a call. Let us know what you want to hear. And it's classic rock until 11 o'clock. We got the Runaways, Eric Clapton, and Crosby, Stills, and Nash all on deck.
Saturday nights with Rob Hicks. He's like Wolfman Jack. Without the beard, money, or timeless popularity.
Coincidence? I think not.
Bridgewater's Saturday night soundtrack on 91.5 WBIM.
That's 10 years after 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday night soundtrack, that one was by request for Big Ed. Before that, we heard from Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Eric Clapton, The Runaways, Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer. It's 10:06.
You know what I really enjoy?
Yeah.
I really enjoy the fact that Steve and I start grabbing our microphones and our headphones like crack addicts, waiting for the next big hit.
I actually enjoy that as well.
Ooh, he's coming on.
I like also how nothing needs to be said. I basically just start talking, or the light even just comes on, and then all of a sudden they're scrambling.
You put on your headphones
and all sorts of things.
Crap! Put them on.
But what's great is that I throw you guys off sometimes, because if I'm doing sweepers in between and I got to listen to something, and I'm just doing a transition and I put my headphones on
That's
for that.
What I just asked him.
You guys will grab your headphones and put them on, and then I realize you immediately then take them back off. 508-531-1303. Give us a call in case there's anything you want to hear. We got one last classic rock block that's going to be coming up this hour, so you can make your request part of that. And you guys want to play a bonus round of yay or nay?
Yay.
Okay. Nay. So, well, you can turn your mic off, sir. Take your headphones off, will you please?
No.
Okay. So we did the Queen version earlier. We Will Rock You, of course, the fast version. This one is this is not an official release anywhere, and there's no indication that this is going to be on any kind of forthcoming album, at least for now. This is just a recording from a well-known classic rock band that has been introducing this song into concerts that they've been doing on the tour that they've been on. And they just started surfacing, probably within the past week or two, they started introducing this song into... I've seen it from a couple of different concerts and a couple of different sets. So this is live. I don't think this is actually from someone's phone, but it's probably along the same lines. So the first question is, do you know who it is?
Not a clue.
It sounds familiar. I feel like I know.
I'm sure you will when you hear it. So this is Bad Company.
Yeah.
And
damn it.
It's a song called Troubleshooter. And they've been doing this, like I said, it surfaced probably within the last week or two that they've started introducing this song into set lists that they've been doing at concerts and things. And at this point, and I've looked and I've done some of the, I Googled, did the Wikipedia, did the Google, and haven't found any new albums that Bad Company is looking to release, at least at this point, that this would be a part of. But I would assume that if they're working on a new song, there's a potential that they could put a new record out at some point.
Now, is this Paul Rodgers then?
Yes. And the question now becomes, is it a yay or nay? I understand that the sound quality is a bit limited on this one. It's not like the Queen one, because you don't have a mastered version for an album, obviously. This was just recorded from a concert. But how do you feel about the sound overall as far as when comparing back to previous Bad Company outings?
I don't mind this.
Yeah, I don't mind it either.
I think it's pretty... sounds, now you know who it is. You can...
I almost feel like it's safe, right? I feel like it's one of those things where this is a song that, well, it the way it sounds and Paul Rodgers' vocals and all that, I mean, the whole thing it's got Bad Company written all over it. And it sounds a little bit more like... It sounds a little bit more like the 70s stuff they did, as opposed to when they started veering off in the 80s and doing some stuff that sounded completely unlike what they had done 10, 15 years before that.
Like the one time I saw them play live. It was
right. Steve, I've noticed this, that Steve has had a lot of bad concert-going experiences. He'll go to a concert and he's like, well, I walked out on Tom Petty because they started playing the song and it started going off and he had to stop the song in the middle, and obviously he's a crap musician if you had to do that. And then you go to Steve Miller and you're like, oh, walked out of that one.
Yep. Well, inconsequentially, I mean, Steve Miller was just the main actor, and we went to see the supporting act in that case.
Right.
And same with Tom Petty. He was the supporting act of the main act that I went to see. So
now, who was the main act when you went to see Tom Petty, or do you even remember? Or the supporting act when you saw Tom Petty.
Tom Petty was the supporting act.
Oh, so Tom Petty was supporting. Who was the main?
Supporting,
you know?
Yeah, Nils Lofgren.
Oh, okay.
So that was interesting. I wanted to stay for his set. So we did. Yeah.
We stayed for that, and then we could get the hell out of there.
But Bad Company, we had front row seats for them, dead centre. We were so excited about it. They came off a West Coast tour, sounding like West Coast bands.
Right.
And it was just so awful.
And when, about what year was this? Was the 80s, though, yeah?
No.
Oh, no?
Late 70s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's when he started wearing the white hat.
Okay.
It's just like, okay, forget
For
it.
some reason, I thought this was like mid to late 80s, and they had really started to...
No, this
kind
was
of
when
veer
they
off
started
track.
sounding like Foreigner.
Oh.
And it was like, it's not really what we wanted to pay to come and see.
You should... Steve, you should have just yelled out, I'm not here to see Foreigner!
I know.
I don't want this at all.
No, but this isn't half bad.
No, this isn't bad at all. And again, the name of the song is Troubleshooter. At this point, there's no indication as to whether or not Bad Company's putting together a new album or if that's going to actually be recorded, laid down in the studio anywhere. It's just a new song that's just started cropping up in the set list of the concerts that they've been doing recently. A couple of different people have recorded it at a couple of different venues and just wanted to get your take on it.
Nope, it's good.
Yeah, 508-531-1303.
So,
Give us a
now-
call. Let us know what you want to hear, yeah.
We never even did we didn't mention the Phil Collins controversy of this week.
Oh, yeah, why don't we get into that?
Yeah, that was quite interesting.
I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm a little bummed out that he's not coming here to the States, but, you know, whatever. He hates America.
I hate him, so I don't mind him not coming over here. But here's a guy who gets to age 55 before he becomes an alcoholic. You know? Really? You last that long?
You wait that long?
Yeah.
You doorknob.
Just because he's retired and he was bored and his wife left him and... What else happened? There was one other thing.
I don't know.
His wife left him.
Oh,
He had
realized that
another
he
wife
was
that
in-
left him?
This is the second one.
Because the first one left him for the house painter, right?
Oh, that was years ago.
And that was
yeah.
years ago, right?
Yeah, that was before his first solo album.
He realized that he did the Tarzan soundtrack. He's like, what the hell happened to me?
No, but he was in terrible... I guess he had terrible health issues as well. He had bad back, which meant that he can't drum anymore.
Well, yeah, and then he broke his foot twice.
Yeah, exactly.
And then even before the whole bad back thing, didn't he have nerve damage in his arms or something like
There
that?
was
And that
something,
was like
yeah.
years ago, and that was when he first stopped drumming.
Yeah.
And it was because of that. And now he's saying, and now it's the back thing. Mm-hmm. And
I think it's all a result of him being a drunk.
No, here's the weirdest thing.
sensitive.
He's an alcoholic. He was drinking a bottle of vodka for breakfast, and yet he hasn't stopped completely.
Well,
He still drinks the occasional glass of wine.
it's probably one of those situations where, like, you know, I am a drunk, and I can
And he's
I can fix
65.
it. I can fix it, but a glass of wine a day isn't bad because
No.
actually the health people say a glass of wine is good.
Yes.
But
So
if
you
you're an
have-
alcoholic, that glass of wine just tips you over into 5 glasses of vodka with your waffles.
Well, especially like,
and
oh,
that's
hey.
not really what you want to do.
Good morning, cartoon bird.
Oh, we are the most insensitive people on the planet.
I don't care.
Or at least on the airwaves of Bridgewater at 10:15 at night.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I'm
nobody's listening.
actually quite a good person.
Actually, that call we got that was somebody new then, yeah.
Yeah, Big Ed.
Yes.
And anytime I think of Big Ed, I think of Twin Peaks.
Why?
Because there's a character on there called Big Ed.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
he had a gas station.
Wasn't that fun that you got a call from somebody called Big Egg tonight? Then very good, very good.
Yeah.
Good.
It's just,
Did you see how I just kind of glazed over? I'm like, Jesus, he's talking about Twin Peaks again.
Oh, yeah,
I
hey.
mean, I like Twin Peaks as much as anybody, but
it's coming. It's
Every
coming.
week,
You watch
I
out.
gotta
So you
hear-
know what's going to happen. Two things are going to happen that you're going to have to hear about all this. God. From November on, is you got the new Metallica album happening. It's being brought in.
I'm already sick of hearing about that. Next.
And then the Twin Peaks is coming out next year. So, you know,
That's next
buckle
year.
up, as they say.
We got an election before then.
So when we start when Jared starts talking about Twin Peaks, can we just, even if we like it, can we sit here and just be like, I hate that show?
That's fine.
The show's so dumb.
Do it. I've dealt
Stupid show.
I've dealt with people for years.
I don't understand
saying
why they're
that.
doing. Now, is David
Years
Lynch
of
is
people-
David Lynch back in the fold?
Yes.
Okay.
And in fact, he has directed all of the episodes, and he's in full creative control. And Mark Frost is back, which is nice because that'll kind of reel in the craziness.
Who's doing the music?
Angelo
Badalamenti?
Badalamenti.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he's doing it. So all
This
the
is all.
elements
This
are
is
there.
all promising. I'm still gonna crap on it because I can.
That's fine. Again,
But I probably will. My heart probably won't be in it because I'll probably actually want to see it, and I probably will like it.
here's the thing. For years, I've always had to fight with people about Twin Peaks, right? And then somewhere after I think 2007, they put Twin Peaks on Netflix. Then suddenly there's clubs, there's websites, fan sites, all this stuff. Now they have like a Twin Peaks festival, all the stuff that's and I'm like, I'm accepted. People like
No, I still don't think you're accepted.
No, I'm not accepted.
It's the little details, isn't it, sir?
I've been a leper since I was born. Since I came out of the womb, they're like, that's a leper.
Well, it's after 10 o'clock. This is when the craziness happens.
Oh, yeah, it's
But, at least we stay here and finish our show, unlike some people.
Hey, here's a question for you. What do cats eat in the morning?
I don't know.
I don't know. What do cats eat in the morning?
Right, Mice Krispies.
Bum bum.
And with that, last block of classic rock coming up.
Oh, corny.
Aerosmith, Steve Miller Band,
That's not how you spell arrow.
and Warren Zevon. All in the next block. SNS on BIM.
Hitting the bars or hitting the books. We'll make your night rock with Rob Hicks and Bridgewater's Saturday Night Soundtrack on 91.5 WBIM.
That's 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday Night Soundtrack, about ready to wrap it up for another week. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer, and I feel like this show went quickly.
It did today.
It did.
Even the fact that we came in 15 minutes early, and did our whole entire show. Some people don't do their whole show. We do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So we're going to be back next week. I don't think there's no weeks off until November when we have the week off for Thanksgiving, obviously.
Yes.
So that'll be the next time that we're off. By the time we come back next week, we're going to know what happened on The Walking Dead.
Yes, we
Maybe. Unless they toy with us some more.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
They can.
It'll probably be one of those, what is it? Those refresher episodes that they do every once in a while.
Well, they're doing one before.
Oh, all right. Because I caught one, I think when I was watching it, there was a time when, here comes the new season, and then it was the premiere of Walking Dead. You're like, great, this is wonderful. And then, it's just a...
They're actually doing something different this time. They're doing an hour and a half episode that will recount the whole 6 seasons prior to this one.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So just in case you've never seen an episode before, you can watch this and then go into the new season.
Well, if you haven't seen an episode before, you probably don't want to jump in this fashion.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go back and watch all the episodes?
Exactly.
How about you do that?
Yeah.
And then you'll get to find out all the amazing intricacies within all the cast members and whatnot. You'll get to determine whether or not Daryl is Carl's father, and all these other ridiculous theories that we can try
it's
to figure
uncanny
out.
that they look alike, though. But whatever. What do I know, right? Just they look alike. Strange. That's crazy. Why do they look alike? But they're not. I don't know.
Makes no logical sense.
Oh, but it does. But
They
it's totally fine.
they both have 2 arms and 2 legs, for God's sake.
They look the same.
There we go.
SNS presents
You kicking, stinky horse smelling mother. You.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother.
Your mother sucks. Big elephant.
the FCC violation of the week.
So this is where we usually sit down and grab the violations that we have from other shows, and basically throw stones from our glass house here, and read out the profanity that's been said over the airways over the past week. But and bleep it out, obviously. There were no violations of the week this week. It looks like, because there's no papers back there at all. However, I realized in listening back to last week's program that it would probably be worth the time to replay the best of clip that we did last semester. So last week we do the FCC violations of the week. Jared goes, we should do a best of for this. Like we did. We did it last semester.
I'm excited.
Oh, we did?
I like these.
And I was like, yeah, we did. I spent the whole, half the semester putting it together. He's like, oh, okay. Do you listen to the show, sir?
No.
So these were all of ours from a year and a half leading up to last semester. And, here you go. Enjoy.
Oh, did I really just say that?
I don't want to hear that shit. Smells.
Then you can't.
He's a... Oh, I can put it in the wrong place.
What a leave the pussy alone. Stop.
I hate when you wake up with a pussy in your face.
Oh, you can say pissed.
Oh, that's great. Crazy. Yeah, that's why we don't say words like shit. Oh, shit. I'd cover the album in freaking shit. You can say shit.
Oh,
No,
okay.
she leaves mine alone.
We don't need these people messing it up.
That's a
Don't do that.
I think you can say bitch. Yes, I'm leaving.
And that is the show.
That's our show.
That's our show.
Come here, bitch.
Yeah. It doesn't get old. It never gets old.
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
I also appreciate the
And
fact
I just do this show to entertain myself. F everyone.
I appreciate that that clip because even though I'm crazy, I'm hardly a guy on there.
No, I mean, I'm on there the least of all. Although I've clocked in a couple this semester already.
Yeah,
as has Steve. Mm-hmm. But I mean, not like we're counting again. But if we were, I've clocked in a couple. You had a little bit more than I did, but you're correct. That was basically the Steve montage with cameos from the two of us.
I like it. I like it.
And Steve, for that we thank you, sir.
Because you know me when we're off the radio, I'm cursing
absolutely
every other word out of my mouth. But for some reason,
no, it's good.
I'm good.
Oh, great. At least
I'll just do one of those things, like one of these things.
At least one of us has control. Pat yourself on the back there. It's fine. We'll see you next week. 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. The Saturday night soundtrack will leave you with Boston from their original album titled Boston. Bye.